I was an accountant for a long time, and then I decided to have a bit of a career change, and I ran a cafe. And it was at that point I realized that most small business owners don't earn more than 20 bucks an hour. They're really struggling out there, and yet they're employing 8 to 10 people on average. It's amazing. So they are the unsung heroes of the Australian economy, but they're really not getting the reward for the risk and the effort that they put in. So I went back in, ran my own accounting firm for 16 years. And as part of that, thought, well, how can I serve my clients better? And so that's why Financial Fanatics was born.
And joining me on the line today, I've got Scott Trevethan from Financial Fanatics. Welcome to the call, Scott.
Thanks, David. Lovely to be here.
Maybe tell the audience a bit about Financial Fanatics and what you are and what you stand for.
Sure. I mean, I've been a chartered accountant for 26 years odd, so I'm incredibly passionate about helping business owners get the kind of financial management in their businesses that actually helps them make profits and make more cash flow as well. So I used to run my own accounting firm. That morphed into Financial Fanatics. We lease full-time accountants to other accountants to help them serve their clients and bookkeepers. And then we also do financial management, think bookkeeping services for Australian clients.
Yeah,
that's us in a nutshell.
Awesome. So tell me about the problem you solve. So for business owners out there, how do they know they need your service?
Yeah, they're kind of in a mess. They're not quite sure. They know that they're making profits, or they believe they're making profits, but they don't know where those profits are because they don't have the cash to support them. They got cash flow shocks everywhere, David. I know, in that small business environment, you come up with a BAS. You've got to pay that money. Where is it? You've got to just make payroll all the time, let alone try and take some money for yourself. So if you're having shocks, if you don't quite know where the business is at, then a service like Financial Fanatics can help you with that financial management so you can understand what's going on. And then you can tweak those things that need tweaking to make more profits and more cash.
Fantastic. So let me ask you, what sort of started you on this journey?
Wow. So I guess initially I ran a cafe. I was an accountant for a long time, and then I decided to have a bit of a career change, and I ran a cafe. And it was at that point I realized that most small business owners don't earn more than 20 bucks an hour. They're really struggling out there, and yet they're employing 8 to 10 people on average. It's amazing. So they are the unsung heroes of the Australian economy, but they're really not getting the reward for the risk and the effort that they put in. So I went back in, ran my own accounting firm for 16 years. And as part of that, thought, well, how can I serve my clients better? And so that's why Financial Fanatics was born, to really help those clients understand exactly what they need to know, what they need to do, and how to make more money.
Yeah, fantastic. I noticed in the background you got profit first. Tell us a bit about how you implement that, obviously through the process you follow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Profit First has been a relatively recent thing for Financial Fanatics to come into. I wrote a book up there called Unfunk Your Business Finances, and that was trying to teach small and medium-sized business owners, how to read a profit and loss and how to read a balance sheet and how to work better with your accountant. And I think there's a lot of value in that book as well. Mm-hmm. But really, Profit First comes along as a very simple to implement system for small business owners to just keep more cash profit. And that's what it's really about at the end of the day. So get rid of debt and keep more cash. And so if utilizing the Profit First system works for clients, then we'll implement that. If not, then we'll help them implement the system that they need on a more sophisticated level.
Yeah. I mean, for me, a good friend of mine once told me it's not about turnover, it's about leftover. And I think too many people don't know if there's anything left over at the end, right?
Yeah, well, I think Michael Michalowicz nailed this for a lot of entrepreneurs. We believe that if we can continue to reinvest in our businesses, that the businesses will reach, the sort of size of Apple or Microsoft or Nike. In reality, very, very few companies reach those heady levels. Very, very few companies reach even 10xing to where the business is now. So much better to work out how to make the current business profitable and get you as much cash rather than just continuing to reinvest in that and emphasizing turnover, as you say, really emphasize on those profits and then let the thing grow to its natural size.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a bit about philosophy in business. What's the philosophy that you run your business by?
The client service is everything, but we need to get things right. So for us, it's about speed of information, giving the business owner the information that they need before they knew they needed it, being accurate, making sure that everything is done correctly, and making sure that we can value add to those numbers as well. So it's not just about doing the books, it's really about how to add more value so the business owner can make timely fact-based decisions. So that was a phrase I heard when I was working for British American Tobacco a long time ago. And I'm like, yeah, timely fact-based decisions is really the mecca for all business managers, right?
Yeah. It's hard to do if you haven't got the data as well. And I think people are so busy in the engine room putting coal in the fire, they sort of sometimes really don't know the numbers.
Well, in those large companies, they've got teams of accountants making sure that they've got all the information they need when they need it. For small, medium-sized business owners, it's really, you have to rely on your gut or some other sort of measure, but it's not the most accurate way of doing things. And big business will beat small business when it comes to that because they've just got more information quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got to address that.
Yeah. So we've gone through some pretty interesting times the past couple of years, right? And what's your current state of play? What's your advice for people in business right now?
I guess it's like be prepared for a massive surge in goods and demand for goods and services, especially within Australia. But because we've been locked up for so long now, we're free. Things are really starting to heat up. So make sure that you've got all your processes in place. Hopefully you've spent the last 18 months making sure that everything is ready, and now you're ready to ride this crest of this wave as fast as you can. But put a lot aside, because these heady days aren't going to last forever. This is going to be a bit of a bubble at the end of this lean period. But I think, with inflation looking the way that it is, business owners really need to make sure that they've got plenty of cash reserves in place as well.
Yeah. I think something that caught people at the start of COVID was not having a buffer in the bank account. And I think some people have learned from that and saying, well, we need to have 3 months worth of expenses just sitting there.
Absolutely. If that's the ideal, and it doesn't, sometimes business owners will look at you and go, well, there's no way I could do that. Well, there is. You just got to work towards it. It won't happen, next month, but it might happen in the next 6 months. So just chip away and put that money away. And absolutely, that 3-month buffer is ideal.
Fantastic. One last question. Any books or podcasts that have inspired you in the past 3 months?
Apart from all the sailing podcasts that I've been listening to, from a business perspective, I'm a real fan of Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson.
And I also listen to Wake Up Warrior. Garrett White says a lot of great things about how to be ethical and responsible in business. It's something that I'm really enjoying. That's a Wake Up Warrior podcast. Yeah,
fantastic. And you mentioned you're sailing. I hear you're traveling.
Yes, I'm going off on holidays next week just for a bit of a sailing trip around the bay, ready to head warmer climates as soon as I possibly can. It's going to be good.
Well, enjoy the trip. Thanks very much for your time today, Scott. Really insightful.
My pleasure. Thank you, David.
Cheers.